there, Katie and people! I'm very excited about this week because we are talking about myths and legends and fairy tales and stories, and I'm kind of really into mythology. I mean, it kind of depends on how you define really into something, but I'm pretty sure I'm there, yeah. Also, here's my charm bracelet, my incomplete Greek pantheon charm bracelet, so I'm pretty sure it's official. So while I will try to not let Greek mythology monopolize this video, 2 of my 3 stories for you all are Greek myths, so we should get started. Long ago, in the faraway land of ancient Greece, there was a golden age of powerful gods and extraordinary heroes. And the greatest and strongest of all these heroes was the mighty Hercules. But what is the true measure of a hero? Now, that is what our story is actually. Would you listen to that? Making this story sound like some kind of Greek tragedy. Lighten up, dude. We'll take it from here, darling. We are the Muses, goddesses of the arts and proclaimers of heroes. Heroes like Hercules. Honey, I think you mean Huncules. I'd like to make some sweet music. I think you all actually mean Heracles. I'll take it from here. No one has ever praised Disney for their complete historical accuracy, and nowhere is this more true than with their movie Hercules. Don't get me wrong, it's my absolute favorite Disney movie, just fantastic music without a doubt, but, well, it's not right. Hercules, or Heracles as he's actually known in Greek mythology, was the illegitimate child of the god Zeus and Queen Alcmene. Alcmene wouldn't consummate her marriage with her husband, Amphitryon, until he completed a task for her. So, while he was away, Zeus snuck into the queen's bedroom, pretending to be the king, back from his journey, so she held up on her promise. 9 months later, after the not-so-pleased real Amphitryon had returned, Alcmene was due to give birth to a son. But Hera, Zeus's goddess wife, wasn't having it. See, Zeus is a notorious player in Greek mythology, but Hera, the goddess of marriage, wasn't about to leave him, so she took out her anger on the other women and their children. Heracles is probably the best example of how long Hera could hold a grudge. So Hera sent her daughter, the goddess of childbirth, to try and stop Heracles from actually being born, but it didn't work. Hera's rage didn't really catch up with Heracles, who was named in honor of the goddess in an attempt to appease her, until many years later, after Heracles was married to Megara, princess of Thebes, and had 3 sons. Hera struck Heracles with a fit of temporary insanity, during which he killed his entire family. Distraught and overwhelmed by guilt, he consulted the oracle at Delphi about what he could do to be purified of his horrible actions. The oracle directed Heracles to King Eurystheus, where he'd be given tasks to complete. Completion of these tasks would mean absolution and immortality. There ended up being 12 tasks in all, usually known as the Herculean tasks, where Heracles had to kill a hydra and a lion with impenetrable hide, lasso some man-eating horses, fetch Cerberus, the guard dog to the underworld, and steal the belt of the queen of the Amazons. He just asked for it, and she was chill about the whole thing and gave it to him, so much easier than the man-eating animals. In the end, Heracles was granted immortality on Olympus, but only after his mortal life had ended, which it did several years later when his wife gifted him with a shirt covered in poisoned centaur blood. What a way to go, huh? So, maybe not quite what you thought, huh? Greek mythology is always so long and complicated and involves so many characters and so many side stories, and everyone's got an angle, which is why I actually like this next story so much. Most people know the story of Theseus, Ariadne, and the labyrinth. Theseus went to King Minos' labyrinth with the goal of slaying the Minotaur. But labyrinths are confusing, especially this one. So Theseus got the help of love-stricken Ariadne, daughter of King Minos, and her magic string, by promising her to take her away when all was said and done, which he does, all the way to the island of Naxos, where he leaves her. There's a few different stories about why he left her. Some say he didn't love her in return, some say the fates said that they couldn't be together, but whatever the reason, the point is, Ariadne was left alone and heartbroken, until she was spotted by the god Dionysus. Now, Dionysus is not my favorite person on the Greek pantheon. And Rick Riordan's characterization of him doesn't do him any favors. But Dionysus fell in love with Ariadne at first sight and rescued her from the island. They were married and had many children, including 2 future kings and 2 Argonauts. And that's it! Dionysus doesn't go on and have a bunch of affairs or illegitimate children, just her. And considering what his particular domain is and the activities of Zeus, his father, you really have to give him his props on that one. My last story is taking a page out of Katie's book. It's about the Sleeping Bear Dunes National Lakeshore and comes from the Chippewa legend of the Sleeping Bears. Up in the northern U.S., just on the western coast of Lake Michigan, lived a mother bear and her 2 cubs. An enormous forest fire broke out on the western shore, forcing the 3 bears into the lake for shelter and escape. If you don't know, Lake Michigan is one of the Great Lakes of North America, and it lives up to its name. It is very, very large. So the 2 baby bears could only keep up with mother for so long. Exhausted, they drowned in the deep waters. Their mother reached the opposite shore and waited for her children to appear, but to no avail. Impressed by her faith, the Great Spirit created 2 islands in honor of the cubs. Mother bear still waits for her children, sleeping on a bluff across from their burned home, now buried under the sands of the dune, where she still waits to this day. Aww, aww! I get a little teary-eyed every time I hear that story. The Sleeping Bear Dunes Park is just a gorgeous place, and I suggest visiting if you have a chance. Just wear long pants, because apparently Mama Bear doesn't like people getting in the way of her view, and the wind can cause the sands to kick up and sting something awful. So those are my stories for you guys. Tell me if you have any stories, legends, myths, urban legends that you particularly enjoy. Let me know. Tell me what you like about them and why. Test out your storytelling skills. So I'll see you next time. I've got a Disney movie to go watch, and Hannah, I will see you on Friday.